much money, them pussies will never get to me. Why you think you never hear about what they did to me? 100 bands, $250,000 talking big money. I want you dead, ain't nobody stopping shit, homie. 'Cause honestly, we give a fuck about your big homies.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy VeLL here with a video. We're going to be doing a tutorial. I'm going to be doing like a little guide on how to use the hero Valhein. And I don't know how to pronounce that name properly, but yeah, Valhein, I believe it is. And he's my favorite hero in the game. He's my favorite hero of all time in the game. And I think that it's just something about the first hero that I use in every game. I usually fall in love with that hero. Like no matter what game it is, the first hero I use, it's usually, and it's never a bad hero either. Like, it turns out that the hero is always one of the strongest in the game, too. And in my opinion, Valhein is definitely one of the strongest heroes in the game if you know how to use him. Now, getting right into it, Valhein is a marksman, an ADC, which means that an ADC is attack damage carry. You're supposed to be carrying your team. You're supposed to be doing the bulk of the damage. So the biggest part of playing an ADC is going to be your positioning. That's number one. Well, it's probably not number one. There's some other things that you should know. You should obviously know the basics. So look up your character. Look up what his abilities can do, because like if you don't know this, his ultimate, the more people you hit with your ultimate, the more of a speed boost you get. So just by hitting somebody with your ultimate, you speed up. And you can hit like 6 people. You can hit the entire team and you'll speed up 60% basically. So yeah, that's something cool that his ultimate could do, and you should know about these things. So yeah, you should make sure you know your character in and out. Make sure you study him, and all of his abilities, it does magic damage as well. That's also something that you should know. So if you want to go for a kind of like trolly bursty build, you would want to like put some magic damage on him, but I wouldn't go for that because he is an ADC. When it comes to ADC, that means his normal attacks are very, very deadly. So if you build up that normal attack with that attack speed and the lifesteal, it's just really nothing that anyone can do with him, and he can perform his role a lot better. So yeah, a lot of people, if you're inexperienced, you might look at him and you might see his abilities and say, oh, all these are magic abilities, so I should build this guy with magic items. But no, that's definitely not the way you want to go with it, and that's why you should understand your role as an ADC. Yeah, he does some magic damage with his abilities, but as an ADC, that's not his job. His job is not to burst people down. He's not a mage. So yeah, you definitely want to learn your character, learn his controls and stuff like that. But getting back into positioning a little bit here, one of the biggest mistakes I see when people are playing ADC is they stay in one lane, they just farm and jungle. And don't get me wrong, that's very, very important. You want to farm, you want to jungle, you want to get as fed as possible, get as strong as possible, because it's your job to deal the damage. But also you want to be putting yourself in proper positions. You want to be helping your teammates. If you're in a lane, you clear your lane, and you see your teammate in the other lane needs some help, it's your job to go and help that person. You got to think about the fact that it's your job to deal the damage for the team, which means you're going to be the one capable of dealing the most damage. So if someone is in trouble, who on the team is most likely able to help them? If you're the ADC and you're using Valhein, you're most likely to help him because you do the most damage on the team. Like so that's basically the way you want to think. You want to think about the value that you bring to the team, and you definitely want to make sure you're giving your team all the value that you can. You have to be selfless. It's not just about you. It's not just about having the best KD. It's not just about looking like you're good. If you have to sacrifice, if you feel that you're in a situation where it makes sense for you to sacrifice yourself for your teammates, I can't think of a situation where that would actually be smart for an ADC, but hey, I mean, maybe you're not performing the best throughout that entire game. One of your other teammates is, and you want to preserve that person's life who's actually just going crazy, killing everybody, then that could be a pretty smart idea. But the majority of the time, an ADC's job is never to die. Your job is to not die. You're supposed to stay alive. Your life is more valuable than anyone else's life. Excuse me. Anyone else's life in the game, your life is more valuable than theirs. No matter if it's a tank, a mage, support, no matter who it is, an assassin, your life is more valuable than theirs, because you're going to be the one ADC. You're going to be dealing the bulk of the damage and carrying the team. So yeah, that's why your life is more valuable. So you're supposed to make sure you stay alive at all costs, but that doesn't mean abandoning your teammates. Like, that's a last resort. That's always a last resort. Like, if you start to get overrun and your team just starts to go down and there's absolutely nothing that you can do, and you won't be able to escape if you don't just book it out of there, then you can run. But you also have to have strong decision making as well, because so many times an ADC runs off and leaves their teammates because they have a drop of health, when in reality their teammates started holding them off, so that ADC could have been there dealing a few more shots, using that lifesteal to get that health back, and they probably wouldn't have died. So they run off prematurely, and it leaves the rest of the team in a bad position. So it's definitely, it's very, very hard to play a character like Valhein, but all of this is very, very advanced stuff too. A lot of this is very, very advanced as well. But positioning is a topic that I can go on about for hours. It's something very, very huge, but what it's going to come down to when it comes to perfecting Valhein is trial and error. Like, you're going to put yourself in stupid positions a lot of the time, but that's not a bad thing. Don't let anybody, like, I know sometimes these games can get a little toxic. People are going to say, oh, this guy is so bad, don't use this character ever again, don't play the game, uninstall. Like, you're going to hear stuff like that. Don't let that discourage you. Don't let that discourage you at all, because we all go through it. Basically, you want to take those situations where, like, okay, that was a kind of a dumb decision. You want to see that, you want to realize it, and you want to never make that mistake again. So the next time you put yourself in that position, you think about the fact that, yo, I was in this position before and I did something stupid. Let me try this instead. That might be stupid too, but now you know, okay, I tried both of these before. Let me do this third option. And then you find out, oh, the third option is what I'm supposed to do in that situation. And that's what makes you a beast in that situation. It's definitely a lot of information to take in. It's so much to learn when it comes to a character like an ADC. Like, people think it's just as simple as getting a pretty strong build and just going and just dealing a bunch of damage, just trying to just shoot at people. No, it's not that simple at all. There's a lot of teamwork involved in playing a MOBA. There's a lot that needs to be learned when you're perfecting heroes. And Valhein, I think that once you get that positioning down, once you're able to get into battles and put yourself in a position, like, so one thing that you want to do is when there's a bush that the enemy could be hiding in, you want to make sure you put yourself in a position where you're away from that bush. You never want to be in a position with an ADC where someone could jump out of any side and get you. Like, when you first go somewhere, if you think somebody's there and you have full health so you can take a chance, go and check the bush yourself, just to make sure no one's there, because you don't want to wait till you start attacking minions or someone keeps poking at you and your health gets low, then someone randomly jumps out of somewhere and just gets the last hit on you. So you want to be able to put yourself in a good positioning from the start. So if you have full health, go ahead and check the bushes around you and make sure no one's there, so you know that, okay, no one's here right now. So put yourself in a position where, like, okay, if this is the middle lane right here and someone's hiding in a bush close to the middle lane, you're going to put yourself far to the right so they can't come jumping from the left, basically. So you know you're going to make sure that no one's on the right side over there. So all you have to watch is the left. So that's when it comes down to positioning. That's when you really have to understand positioning. You really have to understand where you should be based on where your opponents are. You have to do things like watch the mini-map, watch where everyone is, watch what's going on. Is your teammates, are they health looking good? Are they in team fights that they can't win? Like, what's going on? Where's everybody at? Where's the enemy team? And is it the best decision to help them at that time? Like, because it might not be the best decision to help them at all times. Like, sometimes it is 100% better if you just take the time to farm. Because if you're not strong enough, if your team is behind and the other team's ADC is super fed, you won't stand a chance against them anyway. You won't stand a chance if you try, so your team should not be team fighting. Your team should be holding them off and keeping them busy long enough for you to just keep farming, get super strong, and then you can come over there and start wiping people out once you catch up to the other ADC. So certain situations, basically what I like to say when it comes down to MOBAs is MOBAs are situational based. So it's based off of the situations you put yourself in. The way that you improve in a MOBA and you become very, very good with a character like Valhein and any other character in the game is you learn situations. So you're not going to be a beast at just everything. You're going to have to be put in those situations. You're going to do something stupid in those situations. So the next time you encounter that situation, you will know to do something different. Like, when the best players in the world are the players who's encountered every single situation possible or close to every situation possible, and they know how to handle each one of them. So the best players in the world are the players who's made 1,000 more mistakes than anybody else, basically. So it's just like life. Anything in life, when it comes down to it, it's just practice makes perfect. Like, people think that when people are super successful, they got successful overnight. That's not something that happened. They made a bunch of mistakes to climb that ladder to success, but when they got up there, it seems like it's so easy to stay at the top once you're there, because you struggled, you made all those mistakes, but you learned your lessons. So now everything you do is basically, it looks perfect to the outsider looking in because of all the mistakes you've already made. You've made those mistakes, so you're not going to make them again. And it's the same with the game. It's the same with pretty much any game. So that's how you perfect the character Valhein. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be giving you all my build, what I like to use on him, how I like to use the character and stuff like that. But this was just like a pretty broad video I wanted to make about how to use Valhein, because I think it's something that could be very, very valuable for somebody starting out and for some advanced players. So let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what other heroes you'd like me to cover. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Drop a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace out.
Niggas broke, their pins never mattered. Fuck.
Damn, it feels good from way up here. Damn, it feels good, baby. Yeah, from way up here. Yeah. I know you thought I would shine like this. They know I took my time with the shit. Diamonds on my neck, I'm blinding with the